Welcome back to Huffman House. Let's do a little fall planting.
End of August, and we're getting our fall stuff put in. We're a little behind, but that's all right. I think we still have plenty of growing time. Got some cabbage, some cauliflower, broccoli. Our Brussels sprouts never did germinate, so we're going to try those again. And some bok choy. Up in my green stalk up top, I planted some spinach and lettuce. Out here at my green stalk, what I decided to do was, so on opposite sides, so here and back there, are spinach. Here and here are one type of lettuce, and here are another type of lettuce. And then I just followed them down, each one, with the same seeds. My first time trying to do some fall gardening in my green stalk, so I'm anxious to see. This front side here gets most of the sun. And that was another reason why I wanted to do kind of opposite sides. I wanted to see, as an experiment, did the shady side, because I don't have the Turner, did the shady side do better than the almost full sun side? So we'll see what happens. I got cabbage here. And then down here we have the cauliflower. And then the last two spots on this side are starting the broccoli. And we'll finish the broccoli there, then the bok choy will go down there. This ground cover makes such a big difference on getting the weeds, keeping the weed pressure down. It's totally worth it to us. A little background on both of us and gardening. So Mike was born and raised, mostly raised in, where were you? San Antonio, Texas. Sorry.
Oh, El Paso.
Oh, El Paso. See, I had it wrong anyway. Oh my God. Anyway, so he grew up with his parents having a garden, and you had a, say again?
And animals and an orchard, little 2-acre kind of homesteady.
Yeah, so he grew up, around this quite a bit. And then, of course, once they moved here, like I had told you before, that over there was an in-ground garden. So he had gardening in his background. He never thought it was for him.
No.
But, he had grown up with it around him, so.
Amazing how things change,
Exactly.
What becomes important and what doesn't, it's amazing.
So like I was saying, Mike had gardening in his background. He also had, I guess, what you would call homesteading in his background. They harvested their own rabbits for food, their own chickens for food. Had an orchard and all that kind of stuff. So he, like I said, mainly grew up with it. Now myself, on the other hand, is a totally different story. My parents were from New York. So they were born and raised in New York. But that's not where I grew up. My dad was military, so most of my life I spent in Oklahoma. My grandfather, though, in New York, Brooklyn, on my mom's side, her dad, he actually had a garden in his backyard. Didn't get to visit very often. I kind of really don't remember the garden that much. I kind of have a picture of it in my head, but that's about it. Now my mom said I would drive my grandpa crazy Because I'd go out to his garden when we would go visit, and I'd pick the cherry tomatoes, and I'd take one bite out of them and throw them on the ground. She said my grandpa would start a hollering. Old Italian man. So a little background there. My grandfather in New York actually had a garden. We didn't grow anything until the last house we lived in. I think we lived there from the time I was 7 or 8 until my parents moved here. Now there, I do remember my mom having pots and doing like the little patio tomatoes, maybe the cherry tomatoes. I do remember that. And then my dad would actually always have this small garden in the back corner of the yard, because in Oklahoma, I didn't live in the city, like I didn't live in a big city, but I lived in a big town. I didn't live in the country. We lived on a lot, not land, if that makes sense to anybody. So my dad did grow there, have a small garden in the back. I can't remember how big it was. But he would grow, I remember him growing cucumbers, watermelon, probably more tomatoes, I would guess. That's all I really remember him growing in it. But so I did grow up somewhat having a garden. I never gardened in any of my adult homes that I had. Not even flowers. I just had no need or no want. I don't know. I wasn't into it. Then we moved here, which was 17 years ago now. And when we first moved here, I was all about herbs. So I'd get my little pots on the back deck and I'd grow my herbs. But I never did anything with them. Never cooked with them. We never ate them. They were just out there looking and smelling pretty. And then my girlfriend, she lives in Washington State now. Her and her husband. She gardened, and she would tell me all about it and share with me her crops and everything. And after my health issues, after my heart attack especially, she was like, you guys really need to grow your own vegetables. And she stayed on us for years. Gosh, probably 3-4 years. We just were like, no, we don't have the time nor the want, whatever, you know. Whatever excuses we had at the time, I can't remember. But we took a trip to visit, and we went out and saw her garden, and we fell in love. Fell in love so much that we came home, and I swear to God, a week later is when he built us our first bed. Our little 8x4. So thanks to Ms. Rose for finally talking us into it, because as you can see, we love to garden. Well, everybody, thanks for hanging out for us for a little bit today. We got that fall garden finally planted.
Yes.
So, yeah, anything you want to add about growing or growing up with it or any of it?
Yeah, I mean, Lisa touched on it. I'd grown up, I mean, all the way up until I joined the military. You know, we grew our own food, and it never interested me a bit. Not a bit. No.
Yeah.
And then, you know, even retiring, nope, still didn't interest me.
We did get some goats, but that was just for fun.
Yeah, that was the dowry, right?
Yeah, yeah. I told him when he moved me to the country that I needed my dowry.
Can't move me to the country and not give me some goats. Anyways, yeah, it just and it's weird. It was like something flipped after we visited Rose and Turtle up in Washington. It was crazy, and even my mom said she said, I can't believe you're growing garden, you're growing foods. I never would have thought that, because I mean back then it was all about riding around, having fun, drinking heavily, abusing your body, just
Being unhealthy.
being unhealthy.
Yeah.
Yeah, not caring what you ate or how you ate or
No.
how it was
Where it came
grown,
from.
where it came from.
Yeah.
None of that, and then it all flip-flopped. When we started eating healthier, it kind of clicked.
Yep.
Grow your own food. And then after we started putting the toxins or stopped putting the toxins in our body, everything tasted so much better that we grew.
Yeah, it really did.
And it was crazy, and
I-
then it just made us want more.
Yeah,
and more
I
and more.
never ate some of the things that I eat now. I never ate, and I still won't
Yeah.
eat if it's grocery store bought.
Yeah,
It's what we grow. Some of that stuff you wouldn't believe the difference in the taste.
yeah, the taste is outrageous.
Yeah.
And we make mistakes. We're not really good at it, but what we do get tastes really good.
It really does.
And that's why we're trying to push y'all. Just grow something and put it in your mouth, and you're gonna be like, holy cow, I should have been doing that. You're gonna feel so much better.
Yes.
And
And then your body starts craving that stuff too.
yeah, that was
It
crazy,
really does.
wasn't it?
Yeah,
like
it-
Brussels sprouts. Like what the
Yeah,
heck? It
yeah.
just popped. We tried it one more time, and our bodies are like, when are we gonna have that
Yeah,
again?
yeah.
It's just crazy. Yeah.
And then not to mention trying new things. And
Yeah.
now one thing that I think I've touched on before in some of our older videos was if you're not sure if you're going to like something and you don't want to try growing it quite yet, buy it from the grocery store and cook it and try it and see if you like it. Again, though, it tastes so different when it's homegrown.
Way different. Yeah.
But the thing, the way that things are going nowadays and with the grocery stores and all that, it's really, if you can learn the skill of gardening, and again, it's not
Yes.
going to always be perfect. We've had many fails.
Yeah. Some of y'all are gonna excel at it. You're gonna take right off and shoot, and others of you are gonna be struggling on the left side. Keep struggling.
Yeah.
Just
Check
keep
out people's
struggling.
videos and see what worked for them and what didn't work for them, or
Yeah.
this worked for one person. Try it. You never know.
Yeah.
And so the only thing I would like to add to this video is, if you're not quite there of wanting to grow yourself, at least go to the farmer's market and support your other
There you go.
farmers that are out there growing that healthier food for you.
Yep. And it doesn't have to be 100% organic,
No,
raised,
no.
and all that, non-GMO or whatever.
No.
Just grow what interests you and eat what interests you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So.
Anyways, appreciate y'all stopping
Yes,
by.
thank you again, guys. And if you haven't, hit that subscribe button below, and we'll see you next time.